Alright, hello everyone. Hope you're having a great week so far. I had a comment on a recent video where the person commenting said that they liked MiyoLinux, but the installer was confusing. So I wanted to do an installation video. Now I've done some in the past, but the installer has changed a little bit. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do another installation video. Now I want to say that I understand that it can be confusing to people. This installer does not automatically choose your locale. It won't automatically partition your hard drive. And it lacks some features. You can't do Lux. Is it called Lux encryption? Lux, I don't know. I don't use it, so I don't know. But it's actually a really good installer. It's fast, and one thing I like about this installer, now I always make myself a portable version of MiyoLinux to do all of my online banking. That's all I use it for. I don't do online banking on my regular system. I have a portable MiyoLinux installed onto a USB that I use for my online banking, and it works just like it's an installed system. You update it, run updates on it, and what I do though, when you first boot MiyoLinux Live CD, you come to the grub screen and you have the option to load the image to RAM. Just load it straight to RAM. And what I do is I put that ISO on a USB that I want to use for my portable version. I load the RAM, and then when I get to the desktop, I unmount the USB. I reformat it. I go through the installation, reformat it. I put a ext system on it, and I don't put a swap on it any longer. I just use a swap file. But it's really a great installer, and once you get used to it, it's really fast. I can boot up a MiyoLinux Live CD and have it installed and rebooted into the new system anywhere from, I'm going to say, 6 to 8 minutes. I'm so used to it, I just know I just click, 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 and I'm there. But I understand it can be confusing, so I wanted to do this video to go over an installation of one of the latest versions. Alright, now you can install here from the welcome screen, or you can install from the menu right here. And depending on which version you're using, this is the LXQT version, so it's under System Tools, Install MiyoLinux. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And we'll get started. Now I did install Simple Screen Recorder in order to do this, so let's fire up that installer and we will get it done. Now this is the most important part here. Do not close this terminal window right here. Alright, the first screen, you just get some information, nothing really to worry about here, and click continue. Next screen, it's telling you this is a BIOS installation, blah blah blah. Click continue. Now of course the UEFI version will be a little bit different, but really all in all they're the same. Now this window here might be what brings part of the confusion. I'm not really sure. I just take the defaults that are already check marked. Now the only thing that some people might want to do is create a separate home partition. If you do want to do that, put a check mark there. And if you want to encrypt anything, go ahead and do that too. I don't do any of that. I just take whatever the defaults are and click OK. Alright, now we are greeted with these two windows. This is actually a very helpful window right here that I'm moving around. Let me make it a little larger so you can see what it's saying here. Now you've got two sections here. They're both given basically the same information. The only thing down here in the second part, it's showing the UUIDs, and it actually tells you this is a swap file, this is an ext4 file, blah blah blah. There's another swap, not a swap file, swap partition, and an ext4 partition, I'm sorry. Alright, now up here it tells you what those partitions are designated as. Swap, what we just looked at, Linux, that's the ext4. I don't really pay attention to this one. I come down here to this next one. Now what I want to do, let me go ahead and open gparted. This may not be as helpful as looking at an actual GUI. So let's open gparted. It says you need to have at least one partition ready for the installation, plus one for each separate partition that you chose. If you already have the partitions ready, you can skip this step. Like if you're just putting this on a computer and all you have is a swap partition and a partition for the hard drive, your root partition, you don't have to worry about any of this as long as you know which partition is your swap and which partition is your partition for your root file system. We're going to go ahead and open gparted because it might just make it a little easier for you to understand what's going on here. So let's open gparted. Okay. Now these first two partitions, SDA1 and SDA2, that's my main operating system. What I'm going to do is put this on this system that I'm installing. I'm going to put the system and grub on SDA10, and I'm going to use SDA9 for the swap partition. Okay? You don't need to worry what all these other partitions are. I know what they're for. I don't know if that helps you visualize what's happening here or not. Just a visual layout of what your hard drive looks like. Okay? Now I know I want to put this system on SDA10 and I want to use SDA9 as my swap partition. Okay? So we've closed that out. Now another window is going to open. Alright, install grub bootloader. Now if you're just putting this on a computer with one single operating system, you need to choose MBR, the master boot record. I'm going to put mine on a partition because SDA2 is my main system that controls grub. So I'm going to put grub on SDA10. So I'm going to tell it right now, put it on a partition. But remember, if you only have one system, you need to choose MBR. Alright, select a partition for the bootloader or grub, and I want that on SDA10. And click OK. Now choose a partition to use for the installation of the operating system. That's also going to be SDA10 for me. And click OK. What file system would you like? ext4 is already highlighted. That's what I want. That's the most common these days. So these are your choices though. If you know you want ext3 or ext2, go ahead and choose that. I always go with ext4. Now we're going to choose the partition for swap. Now one other thing about this installer, Let me open this up a little more, give it a little more room. If you don't choose one of these, it will automatically generate a swap file. In the next, there will be a little window that will pop up and say a swap file will be generated instead. And when you click OK on that next little window, it'll make a swap file. But I do want to use my swap partition, and as I discussed earlier, I want to use SDA 9. Okay, and there it is, SDA 9. Click on that and click OK. Alright, here's a summary of what's about to happen. We can go ahead and close this out. Just letting you know, Bootloader will be on SDA 10. If you chose MBR, it will let you know that. The operating system will be on SDA 10, and home will not be on a separate partition. In other words, I didn't create a home partition. It's just letting you know there's no home partition. Everything's going to be on SDA 10. Alright, and hit proceed with the installation. Alright, now we choose our geographic area. And that's just what part of the world do you live in. I live in the US, so I'm going to choose US. And hit next. Time zone, it's already on Eastern. I'm going to choose my time zone, Eastern. Hit next. Okay, locales to be generated. Let me show you. English US is already going to be chosen. So if you're installing to a different locale, you might want to remove that check mark. And this might be another area that you might find confusing. You may not know, oh, there's so many to choose from, I don't know what to choose. Well, on your current system, if you're running Linux, and I think this works on any Linux system, I can't say that for sure, but I believe it does. Just open your terminal and type in locale. Hit enter, and this is the locale. Okay, and you can get your locale that you're using right now. If it's correct, if it's correct on your current system, that tells you what your locale is. All right, and that's the one you'll want to look for on this installation here. So remember that. You can look at your current system, just type in locale and it'll tell you. Alright, my locale is English_US.UTF-8. Alright, that's the one I want. It's already check marked. Again, now if this isn't your locale, you might want to come in here and remove that check mark and click next. Well, find the one you need, then click next. Please. Alright, it's asking which locale do you want for the system environment, the default. I want English US UTF-8. Next. Alright, now we choose our keyboard layout, and I just always go with whatever these defaults are. Next. English US, you might have to change that. Next. That's what I want. Next. Alright, now right here it's telling you, do you want to proceed anyway? Now if you notice, the N is capitalized. If you just hit your enter key right now, it's going to say no and it's going to stop. So you need to physically type in the letter Y to proceed. So that's what we'll do. I will let this get started if you want to. This installation is actually going a little bit slower than normal, I guess because I'm screencasting, I'm not sure. What I'm going to do once this gets started, I'm going to pause the video. But you can look at you can see the time here. Just take a notice of what that time is, and it'll give you a basic idea of how long this section lasts until I come back to it again. Alright, I'm going to let it get started. Once it gets started, it flies through it pretty quick. Alright, there it goes. So let me pause the video, and I will be back when this part is finished. Alright, all that has finished. Next, you're greeted with this window. Basically, if you're just doing a normal installation, just click continue. Okay? I don't think most people are going to need to chi-root into anything, so just click continue. And the installation is almost finished. We're about to enter our password. Now this is the host name. Name it whatever you want. Leave it MiyoLinux or put whatever you want there. Alright, new username. My name is Dan. And Dan. And I do like to enable sudo, so I will put a check mark on that. I like having sudo and su both available. And click OK. Next we'll enter our passwords. Now this is for the root password for the root account, and make sure there's nothing that will let you see what you're typing here. So make sure you're typing exactly what you want, okay? I will type in my root password, type it again, and you can either click OK or enter on your keyboard. And next we'll enter the user password. Again, make sure you're typing exactly what you want. And click OK. So there you go, installation's finished. You can now reboot into the new system, and remember to remove your installation media. Alright, so that's it for the installation. I hope that helped some people. I think my next video, or videos, will be showing how I build MiyoLinux. It'll probably be a series of videos, because I don't think anybody's going to want to sit and watch about a 3-hour long video. I know I probably wouldn't. So it'll probably be a series of videos showing different steps that I go through on how I build MiyoLinux. And I do hope this video helped with any issues you might have with the installation. Maybe it explained a few things. I do hope it helped. You guys have a great evening, and hope the rest of your week goes great. Alright, thanks a lot, and take care.